Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Paula's Choice Anti-Redness Exfoliating Solution, which contains 2% of salicylic acid. Now, at first I want to go over general information so that you have a better understanding of what it is, for whom it is the most suitable, and when you should use it. Then I want to get into a frequency guide so that you have an idea of how you can get started and adjust the frequency over time. And then I want to show you some example skincare routines so that you can see the order of application as well as what you should avoid when using this solution. And lastly, I want to show you the entire application on my face so that you can see it visually. Now, Paula's Choice Anti-Redness Exfoliating Solution contains 2% of salicylic acid, which is BHA. And overall, this formulation is very hydrating, gentle, and has some buffering ingredients so that it isn't as harsh on the skin, yet effective, and it has a high pH. Why is this important? Well, if you know some of Paula's Choice products, especially the 2% BHA liquid exfoliant, which is quite famous, that one can be quite intense and often leads to irritation because it has a low pH as well as a very simple, straightforward overall formulation when it comes to salicylic acid, which can be effective, but at the same time the risk of experiencing irritation or that it's going to be too intense for your skin tolerance is pretty high. And so if you had already previous experience with Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant, or you're being new to a BHA and you aren't sure which one you should get, this one is quite famous from all the other like exfoliating acids that Paula's Choice has, no one talks about them. Well, then my best advice would be try the anti-redness exfoliating solution in the regular strength at first. It is much gentler yet effective. And then if you find this one helpful, go ahead and keep on going with it. However, if you feel like you need something intense, like a bit stronger, then of course you always can change it to either the extra strength that they have from the same line, which is basically the same as Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant, or just get the black bottle. So you always can switch it, but in this case you're going to lower the risk of experiencing irritation when starting off with a much gentler overall formulation. Because all of them, like when it comes to the regular strength, extra strength, as well as the 2% BHA, they all contain 2% of salicylic acid, which is BHA. But what changes is the pH and the overall formulation. So if you want something gentle, then I recommend getting started with this one. Now, I do believe that it's quite helpful to work on blemish-prone skin, as well as if you have a bit more of an oilier skin type and overall experience like inflammation, because this is what salicylic acid can help you in general. So when working with a salicylic acid solution, it is usually recommended for oily acne prone skin based on how it works on oiliness as well as how it works on acne prone skin. However, with this formulation overall, since it has some hydrating ingredients as well as buffering ingredients in it, I do believe that it's great for all skin types, and you can experience acne even though you may not have oily skin. So I still believe that it can really work if you have a drier skin type. You just need to make sure that you're going to adjust the rest of your skincare routine as well while using it, because dryness can occur. And if you have an oilier skin type, you may enjoy the benefits that your skin becomes less oily over time. However, if you have a drier skin type, you want to make sure that you're going to balance it out with other hydrating products. And so this is what I want to get into my example skincare routines. But overall, I believe this one can be used on all skin types. So what can salicylic acid do for you specifically? Well, salicylic acid can help you to exfoliate the skin on the skin surface, so to shed off the dead skin cells so that your new skin cells are going to be revealed. So this can help you with dullness, textured skin, and overall fine lines and wrinkles. This is how the exfoliation on the skin surface can work really well. However, it goes deeper into the skin as well. So salicylic acid is able to break through oil, which means that it is able to unclog pores. So if you're suffering from blackheads, whiteheads, or even closed comedones and overall acne prone skin, like those reddish bumps that you can get without like a whitehead or blackhead on it, then it can help you to unclog those pores, and at the same time has some anti-inflammatory properties as well, which can help you to calm the skin, to soothe redness, as well as overall bumps on the skin if they are being inflamed. And so then overall, while using it over time, you can experience a more clearer and calmer skin overall. Yet at the same time, you have exfoliated the skin on the skin surface as well. And so this really can help you if you have more so acne prone, or let's call it blemish prone skin, doesn't matter your skin type. And so when using it, usually with exfoliating acids, it's always recommended to use it in your evening skincare routine because it makes the skin sensitive to the sun. However, in this specific case with salicylic acid, it can be used in the morning and or evening, which plays a big role when it comes to the frequency and what your overall skin needs are. But if you can, my best advice would be use it in your evening skincare routine only. And this should really make the trick because first of all, you do not need to bother about sunscreen in your evening skincare routine, and your skin has some time to improve while you're sleeping. And at the same time, you're giving your skin a bit more time so that you do not need to necessarily apply the sunscreen immediately afterwards. Why is this important? Well, I often read in my comments that when they're working with exfoliating acids during daytime, then it's really important to follow with sun protection afterwards when being exposed to the sun. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're using your exfoliant in the morning and or evening, always use sun protection during daytime when being exposed to the sun. But a concern that I often see is that when they're working with an exfoliant during daytime and then soon after that follow with sun protection, for some people this can really lead to stinging or burning on the skin. I'm not 100% sure why this is a problem. This may be because you have exfoliated the skin and then are working with, for example, a sunscreen afterwards, which can be a physical or chemical one, and this may lead to stinging or burning due to the combination. I'm not 100% sure. Or because your skin has already shed off the dead skin cells and then your overall skin is a bit more sensitive to certain products. So I'm not 100% sure what's causing the issue. However, if you had this experience already, I recommend only using it in your evening skincare routine so that you can give your skin more time between your exfoliant as well as your sun protection application, so that your skin has time to regenerate, and then you're going to use the sun protection during daytime without your exfoliant. So this can probably help with the burning and stinging if you should have this issue while using an exfoliant. So this is just a little tip that I want to share with you. This now, however, brings me to the overall frequency. Now you can use this one in the morning and or evening. And when it comes to the frequency, I'm going to keep my focus at first on an evening skincare routine only. So since it is a gentler formulation, you can probably use it every other day quite quickly throughout the week. So use it on Monday, leave out on Tuesday, use it on Wednesday, leave it on Thursday, so that you have one day of a break in between before using the exfoliant again. And then do this frequency for about a month so that you can see how your skin is dealing with it. For some people, this may already be enough. For others, you may feel like, well, I want to use it more often. Well, if you can use it more often, then you can move up to using it once per day daily in your evening skincare routine. If that's working well for you, you feel like it's enough, you do not need to use it more often than that, well, then keep on going with that specific frequency. However, if you say, well, I have really stubborn acne-prone skin, or I have really stubborn clogged pores overall, then you may want to use it twice per day daily. Now, this is a frequency that I recommend really doing only if you really feel the need, because it can be quite intense overall with exfoliating acids when using them twice per day daily. So I really recommend taking your time before doing the step of using it 2 times per day daily. It can work, however, it sometimes can be quite too much for the skin to tolerate, and therefore it's best to just use it every other day, or maybe daily in your evening skincare routine, and this already should do the job. So this is an overall frequency guide. If you should come across slightly redness or stinging or burning, or weird looking pimples, reddish looking pimples that do not look like your usual whiteheads, blackheads, or maybe acne, if you have acne prone skin, then you will notice the difference between your acne as well as some weird looking pimples. If you get weird looking pimples that look like little wounds, then it's probably because you have used exfoliant too often. Even though it's a gentle formulation, you need to figure out what your skin needs, because for some people they can use it quite often throughout the week. For others, it's best to use it just every other day or 2 to 3 times per week. So you really need to figure out what frequency works the best for you to avoid signs of irritation. So if you can already feel the slightly stinging or burning on the skin, reduce the frequency or give your skin a break before trying it again with using it less often. And so This would be my overall guide when it comes to the frequency. But now I want to get into example skincare routines. I want to keep my focus mainly on the evening skincare routine. However, I want to give you an example of a morning skincare routine as well, so that in case you want to use it in the morning and or evening, you know how you can do this. Okay, so let's get started with the evening skincare routines. What's important to keep in mind is that when working with the Anti-Redness Exfoliating solution, please only use one exfoliant per routine. Meaning that if you're going to get started with your evening skincare routine, your first step is going to be washing your face with a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs. Avoid harsh exfoliating acid cleansers. And when using a cleanser, make sure that it's a gentle cleanser that's suitable for your skin type and needs. So if you have a drier skin type, look for cleansers that are suitable for dry skin. If you have an oilier skin type, look for cleansers that are great for oily skin, so that you can adjust it accordingly to your skin type. But make sure it's a gentle one. Then what you also can do in your evening skincare routine is maybe a double cleanse. In case you're wearing sunscreen and or makeup throughout the day, then use at first an oil or balm cleanser and then move on to your usual gentle cleanser as your second cleanse. Wash your face with your cleanser, rinse it off, pat the skin dry. If you are planning on using an hydrating and soothing toner in between, then this would be now the next step after cleansing. You do not have to include it, you can also leave it out. This is just an example so that you can see the order of application. After that, you can move on to your Anti-Redness Exfoliating solution. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. And then, if you should feel the need, you can follow with any serums and treatments afterwards. If you do not have any serums or other treatments at home, it's fine to skip this step and then follow on with a moisturizer if you should feel the need. Choosing a moisturizer that won't clog pores as well as is suitable for your skin type and needs. Now, the products that I have mentioned in my example skincare routines are just examples to give you a visual step-by-step order of application. If you have other products that are working really well for you and you just want to include the solution to your skincare routine, well then just exchange the rest of your skincare routine, but keep the step after your toner, but before your serums and treatments as well as your moisturizer. And in the evening, there's no sunscreen needed, only during daytime. And so then when it comes to your morning skincare routine, so when waking up the next morning and you're just planning on using the salicylic acid solution in your evening skincare routine, well then the two main points that you should not forget is, first of all, wash your face with a suitable cleanser for your skin type and needs, and then sun protection. You can use in between an hydrating and soothing toner or serums and or treatments, that's fine, but those are optional steps. But your cleanser as well as your sun protection are important during daytime, especially when being exposed to the sun. Then please don't forget to protect the skin. So this would be an entire morning and evening skincare routine when using your exfoliant in your evening skincare routine. However, if you now say, well, I want to use my exfoliant during daytime, well then it's basically the same as the evening skincare routine, just you're going to exchange your moisturizer with a moisturizer that already contains SPF, or just use your regular sunscreen afterwards. So use a gentle cleanser, then your toner if you have one, your exfoliant, then serums and treatments, and then your sun protection. And this would be an example of a morning skincare routine. So if you find the example skincare routines helpful, and later on what I wanted to share with you when it comes to what to avoid, you can download them in the description box down below. Now, when it comes to what you should avoid, since it is a 2% salicylic acid solution, there are certain combinations that can easily lead to irritation. First one would be exfoliating acids. So please avoid using strong exfoliating acid cleansers, exfoliating acid mask, or other leave-on exfoliating acid products in the same routine when working with Paula's Choice Anti-Redness solution, since then it can often lead to irritation because you're going to exfoliate the skin too often. So if you have, for example, a salicylic acid cleanser tone with 2% or maybe an exfoliating acid mask, use them at different times. Then the next one would be retinols and overall retinoids like differential, like adapalene. This is quite common as an acne treatment as well, and retinols aren't recommended as an acne treatment, but some of you may find it helpful as well. But I do want to emphasize that please keep them separate. Keep your retinoids and retinols separate when using Paula's Choice Anti-Redness solution, because the more acne treatments you're going to use in the same routine, the more dryness can occur. So it's not about actually conflicting, but it's more so about the dryness and likely irritation that can occur. So if you have a retinol or retinoid at home and you want to use Paula's Choice Salicylic Acid Solution as well. Use both of them in your evening skincare routine, but alternate between them. So use your Salicylic Acid Solution on Monday, your retinol or retinoid on Tuesday, then again your Salicylic Acid Solution on Wednesday, etc., etc. Or what you can also do in this specific case, use your Salicylic Acid in the morning and then your retinol or retinoid in the evening. But again, keep in mind the frequency is important. Another point would be strong vitamin C products, and I'm talking about more than 20% of ascorbic acid, which is the pure form of vitamin C. This can often lead to stinging or burning. This may not happen right away, but the more often you're going to do this, since it has such a potent formulation, the more likely you can come across stinging and burning, which can be quite uncomfortable. Therefore, keep them separate. Again, use both in your evening skincare routine, but alternate between them. And when it comes to the actual conflict, since you can have acne-prone skin or oily skin, even though you may have anti-aging concerns as well, and if you're a big fan of the ordinary products, since I do know some of you are really there, that's why you're watching my channel, then I recommend keeping the ordinary peptides and Paula's Choice Anti-Redness solution separate, because again they actually conflict with each other. So you should avoid exfoliating acids and ordinary peptides in the same routine. Use your peptides in the morning, your exfoliant in the evening, and that's already it, how you can solve the problem. You still can use both products, but just on different times. And so those are the main parts that I wanted to share with you on what you should avoid when setting up your skincare routine and working with a 2% salicylic acid solution. Which now brings me to the entire application that I want to share with you so that you can see it visually. Now, as you can see, I have some examples right here set up. This is just to give you an overall general guide on how much you need to use of each product, as well as after what step you're going to move it on and how you can adjust it accordingly to your needs. Again, if you have other products that are working well for you, go ahead and just use them, but the step won't change. So I'm going to get started with the first step, which is cleanser. And I'm going to use the same cleanser from the clear line as the exfoliant, and it's a pore-normalizing cleanser, which is great for blemish-prone skin, and it contains a bit of salicylic acid, 0.5% of salicylic acid, but it isn't a harsh cleanser. That's why I mentioned earlier, please avoid using harsh exfoliating acid cleansers, like potent salicylic acid cleansers, for example, or glycolic acid cleansers, because then again, you're going to exfoliate the skin too much. But if you have a gentle one, this still should work really well, because we're working with a gentle formulation. But overall, go ahead, use your favorite cleanser, and then make sure to read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. Do you have to apply it on wet skin or on dry skin? You may want to do a double cleanse in your evening skincare routine, and then go ahead and do so. Just make sure that you're going to read on the back of the packaging if you can use it around the eyes, or if you should avoid the eye area. Now in this example, I'm going to use the cleanser on wet skin, and so the first step that I'm going to do is now wetting my face, neck and hands with lukewarm water to warm water. So let's go ahead and do this. So use about a coin size amount, or about 1 to 2 pumps of your cleanser in the palm of your hand. Then rub your hands together and gently massage the cleanser all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute. So, and once you have massage cleanser all over your face and neck, you now can go ahead and rinse it off again with lukewarm water to warm water. You can do this by just using your hands, or if you should have any troubles, use a fresh and soft washcloth in between, which you can wet, and this can help you to remove the cleanser a bit better. So now go ahead and take a fresh towel and pat the skin dry. So once you have pat the skin dry, you can immediately move on to the next step. Now, if you do not have an hydrating and soothing toner, you can immediately move on to Paula's Choice Anti-Redness Exfoliating Solution. That's fine. However, I want to share with you an overall general guide on how much you need to use of an hydrating and soothing toner if you have one at home and you want to include it. So use your hydrating and soothing toner before applying your leave-on exfoliant. And so I have an example right here, which is Paula's Choice Pore-Reducing Toner. That one is, for example, great for combination to oily skin. Make sure that you're using one that's suitable for your skin type as well. And so when using a toner and it has an opening like this, then if you can count the drops, which of course depends on the overall opening and the texture of the product, that one has, for example, a very light texture, then use between 5 to 8 drops in the palm of your hand. Rub your hands together and gently apply it all over your face and neck if you want to use it with your hands. However, if you have a toner that has a thicker texture, a bit more like a serum, then use between 3 to 4 drops, which should be more than enough, and it should be enough for your face and neck to evenly apply it all over when using it again with your hands. However, you can also go ahead and apply it with a cotton pad if that's a preference of yours, but then make sure that you're not going to soak up the entire cotton pad, because first of all, it's going to be way too much for your face and neck, and second of all, you're going to waste a lot of product which you do not actually need. So I want to share with you an overall general guide. By using about a coin size amount on a cotton pad, you need to use a bit more because the cotton pad does absorb quite a lot of product, so about that much more or less, and this should be enough for your face and neck when swiping it across. Now, the feeling that I want to share with you is that you should feel that your skin is slightly damp all over and that the product is able to fully absorb into the skin once you have applied it. It shouldn't sit on top of the skin surface. If you feel like that your skin is quite wet and that you need to wait quite a lot of time in between, then you probably have used too much, and I recommend reducing the amount of product that you have used, because when using too much, not only of exfoliating acids, but toners, serums and moisturizers in general, this often can lead to either irritation, depending on what products you're using, or it can cause pilling or an uncomfortable feeling when layering multiple products after one another. So therefore, how much you're going to use plays a big role, but make sure that you're using enough so that you can evenly apply it over your face and neck. So this would be one example. Once you have applied your hydrating and soothing toner over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. After you have applied your hydrating and soothing toner, you can move on to the next step, which is now applying the Anti-Redness Exfoliating Solution. Again, this is an exfoliating acid, it's a leave-on exfoliant. And so it has a similar opening as I just shared with you with the toner. So overall, this guide basically stays the same. Use between 5 to 8 drops in the palm of your hand, or use about a coin size amount on a cotton pad when applying it over your face and neck. Just make sure that you're not going to use it on top of your eyelids. Please do not get it into your eyes, and please do not use it too close to the actual lower lash line. And please make sure to not get it into your mouth. If you get it into your eyes or into your mouth, rinse it immediately with water. And so there again, 2 ways on how you can apply it, either with a cotton pad or dispensing the product in the palm of your hand and then apply it. Whatever method works the best for you, go ahead and do so. There's no right or wrong. It's more about what's your personal preference and what works the best. So then rub your hands together and gently blend it all over your face as well as neck. So, and once you have applied it all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, when doing this in the evening and you want to keep the routine very simple, it's fine to just cleanse your face, use exfoliant, and that's basically it. You do not have to include an hydrating and soothing toner, serum or moisturizer in your skincare routine. So you can really keep it very simple, which of course depends on your overall skin types and needs. However, if you now say, well, I want to include my hydrating and soothing toner, I want to include my treatments as well as my moisturizer, well, then you know that you have to use your hydrating and soothing toner before your exfoliant, and then after the exfoliating acid, you're going to move on to serums and treatments as well as your moisturizer. And by the way, I'm going to keep my focus on an evening skincare routine. Now when it comes to serums and overall treatments, I have a few examples right here from Paula's Choice. They're vitamin C booster, niacinamide, as well as azelaic acid. I want to share with you an overall general guide. If you have a serum at home with a dropper that has a very thin texture, again, similar to the toner, use between 5 to 8 drops for your face and neck. If you have a serum that has a thicker texture, use about 3 to 4 drops. If you have a serum with a pump, use about 1 to 2 pumps. Or if you have a treatment that has like a cream texture or gel texture, use about a pea-size amount. Apply your serums and overall treatments over your face and neck, and then again, leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then after your serums and treatments, you can move on to the next step if you feel the need, which would be a moisturizer. Now again, when including a moisturizer, make sure that it's working well for your skin type, but make sure that it won't clog pores. I have one example right here, which is again from the Clear line. It's an oil-free moisturizer and it's great for blemish-prone skin. So this is just one example. Now when it comes to how much you need to use of your moisturizer, use about a pea-size amount, more or less. This can be adjustable. If you have a drier skin type, you probably want to use a bit more. If you have a combination skin type or oilier skin type and you come across a bit of like dryness, but at the same time you want to make sure that it's not sitting too thickly on the skin, then use about a pea-size amount so that you can apply it thinly all over. And so I have just, as this is an example, if you have a different one, just go ahead and exchange it to a moisturizer that you enjoy. So about that much, more or less. Use it between your fingers and then gently apply it all over your face and neck. So, and once you have applied your moisturizer all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this would be an example of the last step in your evening skincare routine if you want to include a moisturizer as well. Keep in mind that in the evening there's no sun protection needed, only during daytime when being exposed to direct sunlight. Now if you want to know how you can properly apply a moisturizer with SPF or regular sunscreen, I have a specific video for you in the top right corner so that you can see the entire application properly. And so this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can use Paula's Choice Anti-Redness Exfoliating Solution, which has 2% of salicylic acid in it. And if you enjoyed this video and you find it helpful, please don't forget to give the thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to know how you can use other skincare products in your skincare routine and how you can properly apply them to the skin, I have several videos on my YouTube channel and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!